Hello, thanks so much for watching. Very interesting week ahead of us as we go from August the 16th, which is Monday, right through until Sunday the 22nd. We've actually got a full moon coming up on the 22nd. We've also got Uranus retrograde coming in on August the 19th, and those are really the starring roles in astrology in the next week. We will take a quick look at where we are now. The moon is in Scorpio. She is just coming up to half full. She's about 48% full as I'm recording this, which is Sunday the 15th. The sun is opposite Jupiter at the moment, so lots of confrontational energy out there. People are making judgments based on morality and law, and of course everyone's got their own interpretation of morality and law, so there could be clashes, there could be arguments, but the moon herself is trine Neptune, so that adds sensitivity and compassion into the mix. Also, people are looking towards the future, so feelings are out there, intuition is out there, and people are quite careful with each other, which is no bad thing. But we do have a T-square going on. That is actually a T-square between where the hell is it? I can't find it in my book. Yes, there we are. T-square between the moon, the sun and Jupiter. So all those energies really are playing off against each other. Jupiter itself is square Uranus at the moment, and Uranus is just slowing down for that retrograde as we speak. So that can be quite revolutionary, the influence of Jupiter. New ideas coming in. Now, if that sits well with the trine Neptune of the moon at the moment, then the sensitivity and the compassion are really going to be doing great things, and it's looking very positive. But let's focus now on Uranus retrograde. It's quite a long one. It starts on August the 19th at 14 degrees of Taurus, and it goes right through until January 18th next year, 2022, and that will actually end that day in 10 degrees Taurus. So it's very Taurian. Now, generally speaking, Uranus retrograde is associated with inner changes, people responding to the external circumstances in our lives, which are forever changing. And so we're forever trying to respond. Uranus retrograde plays into that, and this particular one, being set up the way it is, pretty well to do with Taurus, brings a lot of excitement, initiative, curiosity, that kind of thing, and also a sense of adventure. So that is most definitely a thing for the next week, because we've got this T-square with Jupiter. Wow, it's all happening. But you know, if we look just generally at Uranus, it's a regular thing. It's 155 days every year. So it's kind of, what's that? That'll be 310. It's nearly half the year, and Uranus does this every year. It's going to move 4 degrees backwards through the zodiac, so it's a slow moving thing. And, you know, you might anticipate a major change in your life, or try to actually make that change happen. Quite often when we try to do that, nothing happens. But in this case, the transiting Uranus retrograde is going to induce those internal changes in attitude or behaviours which you need to actually make the change that you want happen. So it can be awkward. It can feel as if it's going against the grain. But the old thing is always true. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And all of this action is actually leading you to be more in yourself and have more personal freedom, really, which is no bad thing. I mean, you just can't beat personal freedom. It feels so good when it's like that. But anyway, whatever's going on, Uranus retrograde lets you process things within yourself before you actually manifest the external change. And that manifestation is going to come when Uranus goes direct, January 2022. So you've got like half a year to sort these things out. So there's no big pressures really here. Uranus is an outlying planet. It's, you know, it doesn't change all that quickly. It's a fact of life. The further away the planets are, the less quickly they change, the more slowly things go. Now, another possibility might be that you yourself have had to be disruptive and rebellious in some way, trying to make changes, like quite radical changes. And that can be based on stuff you don't know, ignorance basically. Not deliberate ignorance, but just, you never quite know exactly what's going on with everybody else. We can only guess at the way the world is moving. Or it can just be, inexperience of whatever it is you're trying to change. And that's a factor for most of us as well. If you're trying to change something, then, sure, you don't really know what's going to come next. You can only guess at it. But Uranus retrograde, this one particularly will bring like higher self-awareness. You'll be more in your higher self, and you'll get insights about what you might be doing that you might want to change, really, and then after that you get less it gets less chaotic, but anyway, August the 19th, let's do the details. Uranus actually stations retrograde. That's when Uranus stops moving forwards completely and is ready to start moving backwards. That's what the station is. August 19th at 14 degrees 47 minutes of Taurus. And there is actually a conjunction of Mercury and Mars going on as well, which is going to make a harmonious blue trine aspect Uranus, which is really quite positive in lots of ways. When we get into Mercury retrograde, people find it really worrying, and there isn't another Mercury retrograde until the 26th of the 26th of September. Wow. So we've got over a month before that happens. And people do worry about Mercury retrograde because it plays into communication. It makes lots of things difficult. People's cars break down, stuff like that. I'm getting my car fixed next week, so it should be all okay in a month's time when we start getting towards Mercury retrograde. And because of that, people tend to hear about the planet going retrograde and they can freak out a bit over it. But this one isn't a really bad retrograde at all. It's only Mercury that gets like that. All the planets have their own different kind of characteristics as they go retrograde. So that's Uranus retrograde coming up. And then 3 days after that, on Sunday, August 22nd, 1 week from today, as I'm recording this video on Sunday, August the 15th, that Aquarius full moon, it's going to be in Aquarius, aligns with Jupiter. So in terms of the spiritual meaning of the whole thing, it all relates to personal growth, spiritual growth, good fortune, and material growth, which is kind of the same thing as good fortune, I suppose, really. It has a pretty good influence on intimate relationships as well. Could be quite sexual, actually. And there's a combination of sensible and exciting aspects that come together. And this is going to be a great moon phase for finding a long-term partner, if that's what you're seeking. Or maybe even just an exciting one-night stand, and that can be very uplifting too. Couples who are already together can find greater commitment and also feel more stimulated as a couple and enjoy some adventurous activities as well. Ooh, sounds good. So that's at 29 degrees and 37 minutes of Aquarius. It's only making one aspect, but it's one of the best. The moon with Jupiter generally means happiness, good fortune and success, as I mentioned a second ago. There's no other major fixed star conjuncting the moon at that time, but there are two other planetary aspects under a 2-degree orb. So they're both quite positive. They both have a pretty good influence on relationships. It's full moon conjunct Jupiter. It'll be the third time I've said it now. Optimism, generosity, good luck, success, great stuff. And opportunities, really positive opportunities around there. So it should make you feel happy. It should make you feel content. That word should. I guess it depends who you are. But that's the influence, very positive. And the more caring and supportive you can be, the more new friendships you're going to attract. And the more kind of other people are going to want to help you, going to feel favourable towards you. A significant other in your life could have a positive effect on your emotional well-being, and the divine feminine is very closely tied up with that. At the same time, there's going to be Venus trine Saturn and Mars trine Uranus. Venus trine Saturn, great for finding true love and commitment. That's where that's coming from. And it's Mars trine Uranus that brings the initiative, excitement and adventure into the picture. So there you go. It's coming up. This is the full moon for August 21. There won't be another one until September. And then then we'll be very close to Mercury retrograde. But we're a long way from Mercury retrograde as we speak. Let's have a quick look at the highlights of next week in my cheat sheet book here, because I can never remember the individual days. You get to know the retrograde meanings and stuff, but the individual days are another matter. Right, so really, right, that whole thing of cooperation, diplomacy and romance gets its boots on Monday, because Venus moves into Libra, and Libra is the ruling sign of Venus, so Venus is very much at home there. And right through until next Sunday, until just after that full moon, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Saturn and Neptune will all be in their home signs. So it's a week when you can do a lot. Power week, if you like, a good week for performance. Tuesday, great for personal renewal. Sagittarius moon on Tuesday, and that's when the moon moves on from Scorpio into Sagittarius, which is late Monday, but it really affects us on Tuesday. And there's also the moon is going to trine Leo, and of course the sun's in Leo because it's August at the moment, and there's going to be a sextile of Jupiter as well. So personal renewal, really good. Wednesday, good for planning projects, good for doing some work to get the projects done too, because Mercury and Mars are conjunct each other, and that's going to create uplifting vibes, as it were, from the already very productive moon, which is by this point, well over 50% full, and the power of the moon grows and grows as she comes towards full moon. Of course, a great week for manifestation, actually a really great week for manifestation coming up to that big full moon. Then it's kind of, that's the influence really, that's how it sits until Friday, and then you can have very quick thoughts on Friday. People think quickly, people are quick-witted when we get to Friday, and the moon trines Venus basically, and so you can find innovative solutions, and we're starting this week with really innovative feelings actually, and people willing to get things done, people willing to cooperate. Quite a lot of confrontation in the air because of the Sun aligned with Jupiter the way it is at the moment, but at the same time very positive feelings in other directions, so the chances are we can overcome all those crazy feelings. So there you have it, friends. Uranus retrograde, and we're coming up to a full moon. It's going to be a wild week, but it's going to be a pretty positive wild ride as we go through the week. So, fasten your safety belts and look forward to it. I certainly am. Thank you very much for watching. Do check out my other channel, Twig Brother, if you'd like to see some sort of more esoteric stuff. You can see I've got my tarot cards and stuff lined up behind me here. That's my other channel. Try and keep this pure astrology and the feelings that go with it. But Twig Brother is all about psychic readings, card readings, mediumship. If you're interested in that, the clicky link thing to take you to the Twig Brother is down below. Also, lots of other good stuff down there. Please leave me a comment while we're talking about down below. Also, why not hit the subscribe button? Keep up to date with astrology that way, because I'll keep doing these readings more. These videos about astrology. More of them coming at least twice a week, if not more. And why not hit the old subscribe button? Yeah, I've just said that, haven't I? Yeah, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of those. And please drop a like on this if you've enjoyed it, friends. My Gmail address is down there if you would like a birth chart. We will make an arrangement and I will produce a birth chart for you. That's my pleasure. That's kind of what I do. That's sort of my job, really. And so with that, friends, yeah, thanks very much for watching. Take good care of yourselves. Be good to each other. And I'll see you again in a future video. Bye-bye.